welcome to Protect Your Children Now. This is the very first live stream. We will be doing weekly live shows called Protect Your Children Now, where we will look at different ways that you can protect children from not only trafficking, which we're going to talk about tonight, but also grooming online and in the community. These predators are everywhere. This has become a literal pandemic. I mean, most of you guys, if you're watching this, already know that there's danger around. But do you know the tricks, the traps, the threats that predators use? We're going to be exposing that on this weekly show. We're also going to have a segment called Hero Kids, where we're going to highlight a hero kid, a kid that went above and beyond to either protect or rescue somebody or make a difference in the world, make an impact in their community, or even worldwide. We'll be looking at a different one each week. And also Talking with Topher. If any of you guys remember from a year or so back, Talking with Topher is a weekly series with an animated character named Topher who is navigating through life and trying to avoid sexual predators. And he has a mentor, a person named Chris, who is his friend and helps him to navigate around predators. So, a lot to learn. The kids love the show, Talking with Topher. It's a new episode every week, and that will also be new every week. So, wow, trafficking. Honestly, our focus at Protect Your Children Incorporated has been to expose predators and their tricks and their traps and their threats using social media, using community events, and different things like that. So, but we haven't really focused a lot on the sex trafficking aspect of all of this, but it does tie together. It ties together because these predators look on social media. That's the number one place they are looking now to find children. They will find them on social media. We're going to be looking at some stats from Snapchat, which will just blow your mind. And we've never been a big fan of Snapchat because they have the disappearing feature, right? Where now people can send videos and pictures and within, right after it's viewed, it's gone. How do you like that? So the parents can't even see what the kids have been sending or receiving. That's dangerous. That's like a haven for predators right there. We're going to take a look at the trailer for the new movie, The Sound of Freedom, which is opening up July 4th. My first thought was, why are you coming out with a huge movie with top stars, Jim Caviezel's in it, on the 4th of July, when everyone's going to be like barbecuing and doing fireworks and going to parades, But of course, they timed it that way because it's about freeing the almost 2 million kids that are trafficked around the world. 2 million. And the shocking aspect of this is that a lot of them are coming right from America. From America. So now think about in your head all the missing children that have not yet been found in America. And you have to wonder how many of those, unfortunately, are being sex trafficked. So we're going to look at that trailer coming up as well. I want to thank you guys for being here. Education and awareness, protectyourchildren.org, right there on the screen, protectyourchildren.org. All right. Tons of information, tons of education, guidelines, stats, zip code predator searches, everything that you need to be able to help keep your kids safe. Go over all the information with your kids. You can make a huge impact there with that. So let's jump into the trailer for The Sound of Freedom. Now, there's been some pushback saying this is a religious film. Well, it's really not a religious film. I think there's one line in it where the guy says, hey, if God tells you to do something, and he's referencing Tim Ballard, who was the guy who started the Operation Underground Railroad. It's telling him, hey, if God tells you to do something, you got to go out and do it. That's the line. So if it's about, oh my goodness, it's religious and it's faith. It's not a faith-based film, but it is a film about making a difference. And is it hard to see? Yes. Is it hard to learn about this stuff? Yes. I've been watching interviews about this movie with Jim Caviezel and Angel Studios, who's putting it out, and it's almost makes me sick to my stomach. But the good news is that we can do something. We can take a more active part in making sure that these kids are rescued. and not subjected to a life of trafficking. We can make that difference. And when it comes down to making a difference in life with things that we can do great in sports, we can do great in our job, we can make lots of money, and all that's great, right? There's nothing wrong with those things. But when you take an active part in helping to rescue kids from being trafficked, you go to sleep a whole lot better at night. You're going to sleep a whole lot better. You're going to feel better because you're going to know that you made a difference. And we can do that. And that's just one aspect of it. You can make a difference of it in your own community, online, or in your community, you can make a difference. So we're going to talk about that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for The Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. Let's check this out.
I don't think I can do this job, Tim. As soon as I lay down, all I see are those kids' faces. How long you been doing this? 12 years. How do you do it? It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
This is true.
It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade.
Señor Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? Quizá puedas ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What would we do?
Shivering stars drift around in the sky.
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing kids in Colombia.
I like
This job tears you to pieces. This is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
We're talking about extracting an 11-year-old girl from an army of rebels.
Not just her. I'm talking about rescuing hundreds of kids.
She could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA.
Over 2 million children a year are being sucked into the deepest recesses of hell. If we do nothing, someday it's gonna reach the likes of you. What if this was your daughter?
wherever I go, I find my way home.
Is that powerful or is that powerful? Whew. That's going to be a great movie. I know we won't get out to see it on the 4th of July, but we'll certainly be there the next day. We encourage you all to go out and watch this movie. Now, look, it is hard. It is very hard. It is hard to know that this is going on. It's hard, and some people would rather just put their head in the sand and say, you know, it's not my child. I'll just keep an eye on my child, and that's fine. You know, there's an old saying that all it takes for evil to thrive is for good people to sit and do nothing. And we can do a lot, not only by raising awareness of this issue, but by protecting our kids right here at home, in our communities, and in our own country. We can do that. We do it through education and awareness, making people aware that this is a problem. And what starts out as maybe in conversation on Snapchat or TikTok, right? If a child falls into a trap with a predator that's pretending to be a child, which they do, then the next thing you know, that could become a child that is end up being trafficked. So if we stop it right at home, right where the root is, then we can make an impact. Some of the human trafficking data that's been collected by the Department of Justice total of 2,198 persons were referred to U.S. attorneys for human trafficking offenses in 2020, which is a 62% increase from the 1,360 in 2011. So we're seeing what's happening, and it's getting worse. And the number of persons convicted for federal human trafficking offenses increased from 2011, which was 464, to 837 in 2019. Right? So you say, well, what's the big difference, right? What's going on? Why is it getting worse and worse? It's getting worse and worse because evil is thriving, because good people aren't doing anything. Now, of course, the people that are watching this, I'm sure you all are doing stuff, right? You're protectors. But there's a whole lot of people that will see this live show and just say, yeah, it's not my child. They'll see a post on our website or on Facebook or on Instagram, any of our social media, and they'll go, oh, wow, that's horrible. All right, keep scrolling. Like it's not their issue. But it is. It's all of our issue. It's all of our issue. I'm going to look at something real quick from Snapchat. This is like unbelievable, right? This, and it's funny. The irony of all this is that Snapchat came out with this actual article that said, hey, we've got a big problem on Snapchat. Yeah, we got predators all over the place. No, you kidding me? Right? You didn't know that this was a problem? I mean, you create a feature that enables kids and predators to delete what they send, delete what the kids receive. That'll auto-delete right after they get it. So it can't be tracked. Well, I mean, they think it can't be tracked. It can be tracked on Snapchat servers. But even Snapchat has a lesser time to keep all this stuff on their servers than a lot of other social media. And as we can see here, hope you can see my screen here. It says, the challenges for investigators. It's really difficult unless an investigator is able to either get to Snapchat within 24 hours of a snap being exchanged, or unless they're able to pre-identify who the predator is, set up an operation with Snapchat where they're monitoring that offender, and it's extremely hard to do. We have children all over the country that are being approached by people they think are children their own age, but really they are predators. They are adults who are significantly older than them and have fake profiles to try to lure the children to send them photos that could either be nude or of them doing other things. Those other things are usually wrong things. A predator can get a child to send a photo of them smoking a joint or breaking into a place or doing something that they know they'll get in trouble for. And once the predator has that, then they will use that against the child. Right? That's what the other things are. Parents are absolutely the first and most important line of defense in protecting their children from online predators. Parents have to be astute and educated. That's what we're all about, educating as to what is going on in the online environment. They need to be able to monitor their children's social media account. Hello? Be nosy, right? That's what we've been calling for the last 3 years. Be nosy. The Megan Meyer Foundation, which looks at and studies online cyberbullying, they found that about 60% of parents check their kids' social media. I don't know if it's that high. I hope so. 35% of parents know their children's password. Only 35% of parents know their child's password. Who is running the show here? Are you telling me that your kid has a password on their phone and you don't know it? First of all, why? Oh, well, it's their private life, it's just their business, and I want them to know that I trust them. Well, that sounds all beautiful and great. But if your kids don't know the tricks, if they don't know the traps, if they don't know the threats, then how in the world are they going to be safe? Parents need to have their kids' passwords. 35% of parents know their children's password to social media accounts, which is important too. But ultimately, one of the problems that we see happen over and over again are children who have multiple social media accounts that their parents don't know about. Imagine that. See that? And that's another big issue. Multiple accounts. This has been our grievance with the technology companies for quite a while. We've been very outspoken about it at Protect Your Children Incorporated, right? None of the social media apps, none of them identify and verify age, identity, if a person has multiple accounts, right? All those things are allowed. Location device, it's automatically set to on, right? So predators can make tons of accounts, all different profiles, looking like they're kids. What they do is they lift pictures and or videos from actual kids' accounts, and they download that, and then they put it onto make their own profile to make it look like that's the person. And then they send a photo, and then they try to get a photo back. This is how they work. So it used to be a time where we didn't talk to strangers, right? Do you remember those days? Anybody hear me out there? Anybody hear me out there, right? There used to be a time where we never talked to strangers, right? You didn't do that. Now, all the kids do is talk to strangers. Online gaming. They're playing with strangers. They're friending strangers. And then once you become a friend in one of these games, then they can send private messages. And then it goes on from there. Parents, do you know who your kids are talking to online? But you see, predators are all over this. Human traffickers are all over social media, recruiting other people to do their dirty work and also looking for kids. This organization here, it's the Operation Underground Railroad. They are, man, I want to bring that up for you real quick here. Hold on a second. Operation Underground Railroad. I'm going to share my screen with you. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, Operation Underground Railroad, if you look at some of the stats, okay, they have been involved in 4,000 operations. They've impacted 7,000 lives. They've helped contributed to 6,500 arrests of these traffickers. And these people, they go into places all around the world, and they actually put together missions to help rescue these kids. They get undercover, they chat up the traffickers, and they actually go and do these live raids with local law enforcement, and they rescue these kids. If you see any interviews with Tim Ballard, he's the guy who created Operation Underground Railroad. He will tell you, he remembers vividly times when they went with law enforcement and they'd go into a place and they'd break down a door and they'd be little girls and little boys in there just crying for help. Can you get me out of here? And they do get them out of there. And then Operation Underground Railroad has aftercare programs that are fully vetted, fully monitored. And once they rescue these kids, they get them to these aftercare programs so that they can get on the process of healing, and their healing journey. They do a lot of great work, Operation Underground Railroad. Their website's ourrescue.org, ourrescue.org. It's really saddening and shocking to know that this is going on. So as we're trying to protect our own children and our own communities, there are kids all around the world that are being trafficked. You know, we may not be able to stop it over in Zimbabwe or some other country, but we can contribute, we can help, we can donate to Operation Underground Railroad, we can raise awareness about what they do, we can show our support online, we can make sure that every child that we come in contact with is educated, knows the tricks, the traps, the threats of talking to strangers and people that they shouldn't be, know all the warning signs. There's a lot that we can do. And we trust that you guys as passionate protectors, and we call you passionate protectors because here's the deal. The reality is that our Facebook business page has roughly 5,000 followers and likes, right? If I can tell you, I can count on my hand the amount of people that interact with any of the posts, on any of the polls, when we ask questions for feedback, maybe 5 people. And I can almost tell you their names right now because they're like super committed. Everybody else, like zip right by. Listen, we're appreciative of the support, but it's like, why did you like and follow our page? Now, obviously, you care enough about children while you did that. Hey, we're going to like and follow this page so we can keep up to date. And maybe 4 or 5 of you, 6 of you, maybe on a good day, 10 are actually interacting with us, commenting, liking, sharing. It's really a shocking situation. Our Facebook group is doing a little bit better. Got 330 in there. And people are a lot more active in there. Part of that's exposure. A lot more people are being notified about what we post, which helps. Right? But we have to make a difference. You can make a difference. Protect Your Children Incorporated has been around for about 3 years now. We've done community events. We've done tons of awareness events, educational things. We've podcasts, teaching videos. I mean, if you accumulate all the views that our videos have gotten on Facebook, it's somewhere around 600,000. So the online presence is huge. But here's the thing. It's only a drop in the bucket. If we had more people interacting and more people sharing, more people contributing, we do shows like this and we do podcasts and we create teaching videos and we do events and we send out free bumper magnets with our website and a message on it to stop predators, brochures, pamphlets. This costs a lot of money. And I can tell you that in the last year, we've gotten 1 donation. 1. Under $100. Under 100. And we're thankful for that. But the reality is the directors and the people that are in this organization are the ones that are funding everything that we're doing. And we're being capped off because we can't reach the amount of people that we'd like to. We can't protect the amount of kids that we want to. Because in this world, it doesn't happen for free. And so not only can you make a difference educating yourself, educating your kids, raising awareness, speaking out loud, like a lot of the parents have been doing at these school board meetings. They're rising up and they're saying, why is there pornography books in my kids' school library? Oh, don't tell me it's art, right? People are rising up and they're saying, leave our kids alone. Protect our children from these predators. And these predators are all over the damn place now. Excuse my language. They're all over the place. It's not only social media. They're in the schools. They're in the churches. They're everywhere. Now, that doesn't mean you got to wrap your kid in bubble wrap, right? And just, keep them in the corner and don't ever go outside, What it means is you educate your children. You teach them from a young age. You let them know what can happen. Most kids, when they know what can happen to them, if they're not careful, and if they're talking to strangers, and they're talking to people that you, mom and dad, don't know, and they realize what can happen, they get it. A lot of kids just don't know. We got 10, 11, 12-year-old girls running around these 2-piece bathing suits hanging halfway off their body at the beach, and they're not even thinking. It's like you're exposing yourself at this young age, and all these people are going to be looking at you. And it's like, it's crazy. Like what has happened in society where the kids think it's all right to just show off their bodies. And you know what happens when you show your body off like that? If there's a predator nearby, it's going to excite that sick predator and they're going to find a way to come after you. That's what's going to happen. So there's a lot of things that have just gone backwards, that have we've gone reverse. And so what we're trying to do is raise awareness, educate as many parents, teachers that want to protect kids, anybody who will listen. Our website has so much information on it. We have a guideline packet on there. It's the protection packet guidelines, a free download. And I'll tell you, if you just download that and read it, go over it with your kids, there's so much information that exposes all of this stuff. And they can be protected. Now, back to the trafficking thing as we round out here. Operation Underground Railroad, and there's some other great organizations that are making a difference. They're making an impact. We are not set up, not financially, not organization-wise, to be able to make an impact overseas or outside this country in this area. But what we do have is you guys. We have you as passionate protectors that watch these live streams, that share, that watch the videos, that see the content. A lot of you are posting some great comment that we're approving every day in our Facebook group. This is how we raise awareness. And we can't just stay in our choir, quote unquote. You've heard preaching to the choir, right? We don't want to sit here and just have a show where it's like everybody goes, yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, man, that's outrageous. Yeah. Yeah. Now, listen, that's great if it keeps you on fire for protecting kids. But what we want to do is share with people that don't seem to be interested. Make them aware of what's going on, right? So we're asking you to share our posts. Share the website, protectyourchildren.org. Share these live streams. Share it. Share it on your profile so all of your friends can see, hey, wait a minute. This person's standing up for kids. Maybe I need to also. That's what we're asking you to do. Child trafficking has got to be the most evil, satanic thing on this planet. What they're doing to these kids. And like we said, there's an estimated 2 million kids being trafficked right now around the world. 2 million. And we're not a political organization. We're federally 501c3, not for profit. We don't take a stand for a political party. We're not pushing any kind of a political agenda. That's not what this organization's about. But what we will do is look at the areas that are contributing to the downfall of our society, the downfall of our children, and the grooming of our children. And our southern border right now, being wide open as it is, and the amount of unaccompanied minors that are coming across that border, I saw a number that said almost 9,000 unaccompanied minors have come across that border since the beginning of the year. 9,000 unaccompanied. Some as young as 5 years old. They come across the border with a note that's got a name and a phone number on it. So they get into America, and then the Border Patrol picks them up, and it's got this phone number and this person. They call them up, and hey, we got the kid. Oh yeah, that's my nephew, or that's my niece. I'll be right down. No vetting. Who are these children going with? They're getting into the sex trafficking industry. That's what's happening to them. They're coming across that border, and we've got to do something about this. And I don't care if it's political party you're with, Democrat, Republican. I think we can all get on board, hopefully, with let's not let kids be trafficked into our country. The LGBTQ plus community, we've made it clear. We don't have an issue with the community itself. What we have an issue with is that segment of the community that's grooming children, that's exposing themselves, adults exposing themselves to kids at gay pride parades. We got a problem with that. Why? Because, I don't know, psychology and the law for like 100 years has said it's illegal and harmful for adults to be exposing themselves to kids. But yet it's happening. And it's like, all right now. In the schools, you got these books teaching kids about sex when they're like 8 years old. Get them all riled up so they could be groomed. There's a lot of stuff going on. So that's about it for tonight. I appreciate you guys joining. It looks like The Sound of Freedom is going to be a huge success. Check out the movie Sound of Freedom. It's coming out July 4th. You can Google it. You can find tickets. Angel Studios is the one that's producing it. From what I understand, there's already been about 600,000 tickets sold. So I wouldn't wait till the very last minute. The Sound of Freedom. It's going to really blow the lid off of this whole sick, evil situation that's going on with our kids today. Check out our website, protectyourchildren.org. Protectyourchildren.org. Go see The Sound of Freedom. We're going to go see it. It's going to be a great movie. It's going to raise awareness to this trafficking industry. And listen, it's an action-packed movie, right? So it's not, this isn't like, a documentary, okay? This is an action-packed movie. Jim Caviezel, yes, he did The Passion of the Christ, but he also did Person of Interest and a lot of other great movies. This guy's an action fighter. He's going to kick some serious A in this movie, kick some serious Predator A, and I want to see it. I want to see him get these guys, rescue these kids, and know that it's happening in real life with Operation Underground Railroad. And you can check out their website at ourrescue.org, ourrescue.org. So that's it for tonight. Thank you, guys. We're going to be doing a weekly show. We'll be sending out notifications well in advance of when that starts. This was kind of a last-minute thing to put together, so we appreciate there's been a bunch of people in and out, but thank you for that. Please share this live stream and become active with us. Partner with us. Help us to protect as many kids as possible. We appreciate you. You guys stay safe out there. Have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy the fireworks. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the barbecue. Tasting it already. Guys, be safe out there. We'll see you online. Until next time, this is Protect Your Children with Protect Your Children Now. We'll see you next time.